Hi, welcome to Matt Talk, a video podcast for the friends and family of Coming First United Methodist Church from me, Pastor Matt. Well, today is Monday, September the 4th, and I welcome you to this Matt Talk, where I want to talk with you about a special offering that we'll be receiving this coming Sunday, September the 10th. The special offering this Sunday is for Wellroot. Wellroot opened its doors in 1871. It wasn't called Wellroot at that time. It was called the Decatur Orphans Home. Its original mission was to serve the needs and children of who had been orphaned during the Civil War. But as the needs of children and family changed over the years, so did the focus and the program of the Decatur's Orphans Home. So in 1934, the name was changed to the Methodist Children's Home. Then again in 1970 to the United Methodist Children's Home, as we became the United Methodist Church in 1968. And then once again in December of 2018, the name changed to Wellroot Family Services. Wellroot is an agency of the United Methodist Church in North Georgia, and it is the leading faith-centered family services organization in Georgia. The mission of Wellroot is to restore children and families from trauma through Jesus Christ. And the vision of Wellroot is a world where every child is raised in a loving, compassionate, and nurturing home. This agency, this mission, this vision, these children and families, well, these are ours, for we are the United Methodist Church here at Cumming, but we're also the United Methodist Church throughout the North Georgia Conference and the United Methodist Church throughout the world. It's one of the strong points of the United Methodist Church that no one congregation or conference or other entity owns or has a ministry unto itself. Instead, everything that belongs to or is the responsibility of the United Methodist Church means that it belongs to and is the responsibility of you and me and all United Methodists together. So this coming Sunday on September 10th, we will be receiving our annual offering for this most worthwhile ministry of ours. And I invite you to be generous and prepared as we provide for the children and families that we reach out to and provide healing and wholeness to through Wellroot. I know that our first and foremost responsibility is the local congregation of Coming First United Methodist Church. And our finances haven't been adequate in the previous several months, maybe several years. And we promised that we would all faithfully participate in the ministries of Coming First United Methodist Church by our prayers and our presence and our gifts, our service, and our witness. That word "and" is important. It's not "or," it's "and" our witness. And yet before we made that vow to Coming First United Methodist Church, we promised as members of Christ Universal Church to be loyal to Christ through the United Methodist Church and do all in our power to strengthen its ministries, like the ministry of Wellroot. Our prayers, our financial support, our presence, our service are all important in order that the many ministries of both Coming First United Methodist Church and the United Methodist Church beyond continues. Sometimes we may feel a little bit bombarded by all the various offerings because there's a lot going on and there's a lot being done in the name of Christ through United Methodist and the United Methodist Church. But this is what we're all about. In the United Methodist Church, we actually have 6 special offerings that are general conference offerings. The first one is Human Relations Day offering. It's taken the Sunday before the observance of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Human Relations Day calls United Methodists to recognize the right of all God's children and realizing their potential as human beings in relationship with one another. This offering supports community developers at 57%, United Methodist voluntary services at 33%, and youth offender rehabilitation programs at 10%. Our second special Sunday offering is Encore Sunday. It's taken the 4th Sunday in Lent. And this offering provides major support for the United Methodist Committee on Relief, or UMCOR. UMCOR offers immediate assistance in the wake of natural and human-caused disasters and helps support ongoing ministries of food, shelter, health, and peace here locally as well as around the world. This Sunday allows 100% of our designated gifts to go to the specified disaster response or ministry. Our third special Sunday in the United Methodist Church is Native American Ministry Sunday. It's taken the third Sunday of Easter. This offering funds ministries with Native Americans. It provides scholarships for Native Americans attending United Methodist seminaries and other annual conference Native American ministries. Here in North Georgia, we have an active committee on Native American ministries. This year, Samantha Kent, who is graduating from Auburn University, and Donovan Lewis, who's attending Georgia Highlands College, were the scholarship recipients thanks to the generous support of churches like Coming First United Methodist Church contributing to this offering. Our fourth special Sunday offering is Peace with Justice Sunday, which is taken the first Sunday after Pentecost, and it supports the United Methodist voice in advocating for peace and justice locally and globally. 50% of this offering is used for projects right here in North Georgia, and the other 50% supports Peace with Justice programs of the General Board of Church and Society. Our fifth special Sunday offering is World Communion Sunday, and it's the first Sunday in October. It supports racial and ethnic students in achieving their educational goals and transforming communities. 50% of this offering provides scholarships for graduate students from the U.S. and other countries. 35% of this offering supports racial and ethnic scholarships for students pursuing ordained ministry. And 15% fund ethnic in-service training grants for leadership development, recruitment, training, and retention of ethnic United Methodist persons in leadership positions in every level of the church and its ministry. The sixth special Sunday of the United Methodist Church is United Methodist Student Day. It's the last Sunday in November, but it was the original special Sunday founded by United Methodist Sunday Schools. It provides loans and scholarship funds for United Methodist college, university, and graduate students. Every year, the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry awards an average of $5.5 million in financial aid to United Methodist students. And every cent, 100% received, goes towards supporting and educating a new generation of principled Christian leaders for the church and the world. This is an investment in our future. There are currently over 70 scholarships available to United Methodist students. In addition to these 6 special Sunday offerings, the North Georgia Conference has ministries that require our funding. They include the Homeless Offering, the last Sunday in February. It supports the North Georgia Housing and Homeless Council work. Grants are awarded to various churches for food for students, hot meals and sleeping accommodations for homeless persons, access to food for homeless persons, domestic violence shelters, and shelters for women and children. In 2022, $100,000 was awarded to churches and ministries working in communities across the North Georgia Conference, thanks to, again, our generosity as United Methodists. Wesley Woods is an offering that we receive on Mother's Day every year, and the Wesley Woods offering goes to support Wesley Woods that began in 1953 as we began to recognize and began to meet the growing need for accessible, independent senior living. The mission of Wesley Woods is to create communities of connection, well-being, and promise. Our vision is a world in which older adults are celebrated for the lives they've lived, for the wisdom they share, and everything they have yet to teach us. Wesley Woods has communities throughout Atlanta and in Athens, Augusta, Blairsville, and Noonan. Our next annual special offering from the annual conference is actually called the Annual Conference Special Offering. It's taken the first Sunday in June, and this offering is designated each year by our bishop. Some years it is for an UMCOR project or some other ministry that's needing special assistance and help. Another special offering of the North Georgia Conference is Murphy Harp Sunday that's taken the third Sunday in July. Murphy Harps is an independent, not-for-profit organization committed to meeting the needs of abused and neglected young people throughout residential treatment, placements in specialized foster care, and community programs that serve at-risk youth and their families. Murphy Harps works in partnership with United Women of Faith, formerly the United Methodist Women. Murphy Harps dates back to 1914 when Ethel Harps was appointed by the Women's Home Missionary Society of the Methodist Church to a poor mill village in Cedartown, Georgia. She taught the children there to read and write, conducted worship services, and cared for the sick. Severe outbreaks of typhoid fever, tuberculosis, and influenza left many children orphaned and in Miss Harp's care. So in 1924, she established the Harps Home. In 1931, Sarah Murphy, a Spelman College graduate, established a school at the edge of Cedartown for African American children. Many of her students were left orphaned for the same reason as the children at Harp's Home. Sarah and her husband Shug transformed their home into an orphanage with the motto, "We'll make room." In 1950, the Sarah Murphy home burned and drew attention and assistance from local Methodist women. So in 1961, a decade after Sarah and Shug Murphy's death, the National Women's Division of the Methodist Church took over the Sarah Murphy home. In 1984, the Sarah Murphy home and the Harps home merged together to become Murphy Harps Children's Centers. Another offering from our annual conference is the Golden Cross offering that's taken the third Sunday of August. Golden Cross began in 1908 with the commitment of Methodists in Dallas, Texas to provide health care to persons who could not afford it. Today, Golden Cross is a ministry that reaches out in love to the laity of the North Georgia Annual Conference who are experiencing financial difficulty due to excessive medical expenses. Through Golden Cross, United Methodists care for members of our local churches in a time of financial need. And lastly, the North Georgia Annual Conference takes up an offering on the fourth Sunday of October for Aldergates Homes. Aldersgate Homes is a ministry to persons with developmental disabilities serving through recreation, retreat, and residential opportunities. Camp Collinswood, located on Lake Oconee in Buckhead, Georgia, is a camp architecturally designed for physically and mentally other able persons. So, wow, we United Methodists are doing a lot of ministry as we seek to be Christ to the world, to the North Georgia area, and to our local community here in Cumming as we offer healing and wholeness in the name of Christ. So let's all join in and let's be a part of the great ministries that we're doing here at Cumming First United Methodist Church in the North Georgia Annual Conference and throughout the world as United Methodists all working together. And again, let's be ready to support Wellroot on September 10th, this coming Sunday, and mark your calendar for these other upcoming special offerings and these special ministries. And every time we have a special offering, just remind ourselves, boy, we are doing a lot as United Methodists throughout the world. And every little gift or big gift helps keep that going. And beyond your level of financial support, see how you or your small group might be present and might serve these ministries in some way. It make for a great trip for you to take your small group and go over to one of these ministries and to serve there. You could fellowship on the way there, maybe have lunch together, come back fellowshipping together, and while you're there, offer yourselves in ways that they might need persons to be a volunteer help. It's just an idea, but one I hope you'll consider. Well, I'm so glad to be a United Methodist, and I'm so glad to be here at Cumming First United Methodist Church, and I hope you are as well. And may we always offer our positive and compelling witness to those who are yet to come and be a part of us. I hope to see you Sunday, and until the next Mac Talk, may the peace and joy of Christ be with you.